What's up, guys? Welcome, man. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. We're a few minutes behind schedule, but hey, that's the beauty of being on YouTube. You start when you want. Just hate to keep you guys waiting, so sorry about that. But here we are, man. This is going to be quite the show, I believe. This will be quite the show. So let's get right into it, man. Basically, what we're going to be talking about tonight, man, I mean, listen, Madden 18. What else? Just like it says in the title, you know, basically Madden 18 trailer, news, speculation, game styles, and more. All right. Now, we're definitely going to get our good buddy Madden Universe is going to come on. We'll bring him in just a moment. I know he's probably listening. So Madden Universe, if you are listening, and I know you go by another name, man. Remind us of that again when you come on, because I remember that when you was on, but I kind of forgot. So we don't have to just keep calling you Madden Universe. But yeah, we're going to bring him on in a moment. I believe, I'm not sure, but I think Zulu also mentioned that he wanted to come on. So, man, if you're in, let us know. I still have your email. I'll shoot that to you. We'll be happy to have you on as well. Really, that's it. Thanks, Madden Universe, man. It's crazy trying to just call somebody's name that long each time. Much like why people just call me Sim. I mean, it'd be stupid for you to keep saying, "Hey, SimFBallCritic." But yeah, you know the routine. But yeah, man, we're gonna jump right into it. Smitty and I don't know if we really got much introduction to give you guys outside of the topics, because I think we should just dive right in. And yeah, let's get it started. But the only thing I will say real quick, guys, and I'm going to remind you of this as well as we continue to talk about these topics. I have to say this. I said it in the video that I did about the trailer. Let me let you guys know in advance. I can't go into detail about anything in regards to Madden 18 outside of the fact that it's on Frostbite. And I can let you know that, yes, I have played the game and I've seen it on Frostbite. Anything else, speculation of what you may have seen in the trailer, anything else that Rex is so graciously, likes to spill out there. Unfortunately, the way my NDA works, I can't comment on anything, confirm anything of that nature, or go into great detail until EA presents it itself. That goes for also Amazon, all of the stuff we're seeing about what's in the game. I have to be like this. Can't say nothing. That's how mine works. Now, like I said, I always tell y'all, pay attention to Rex. Rex gonna give you a little something. Might even post a picture. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. I can't say nothing. But I think we still be able to have a pretty decent, excuse me, guys, still fighting the allergies a little bit better. But I think we'll still have a nice conversation tonight. Obviously, Madden U is going to come on. Relly is going to come on, and he's going to speak from the competitive standpoint like he once did before. Here's my 3-year-old in here trying to get into the stream. So real quick, let me throw it to Smitty. Anything you want to say, Smitty, before we jump into it? And then we'll go ahead and bring Relly on, and we'll get it going.
Yeah, no, I'll just say this, I know that we'll touch on it at some point during the show because my phone lit up for like the past 2.5, 3 days over this whole competitive and sim, gaming thing, man. It's been wild. But I mean, but you know what? But I love it. I love the dialogue, even though I sacrifice a decent percentage of battery life due to it. But
it was crazy out here in these Madden streets.
Right.
Crazy out here in these streets. Had to load up.
Right.
Oh man.
But excuse me. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, this is a great time right now. It's like we got the gaming going on. We got the, Madden trailer. Some of the features are put out there, and like Sim already said, it's just the same thing with every year. As soon as they show those initial details, we can't swan dive into it. That's why, like videos I've made, like Sim has said, we're just speculating. You know what I mean? Just like, what do you think it is? What's your belief? What details do you think it is? And also, like we've said over the past few years, pay attention to Rex, because as you even seen Clint cosign, he said, like, people asking, are you guys going to put out another blog, or is there going to be any info that's going to come out prior to, EA Play? And they're like, hey, you know what? He's like, everything's pretty much going to be at EA Play unless Rex keeps on giving out the details. And that's what I'm saying. Rex is like subliminally, he's sliding them boys out. So just keep, focusing in, pay attention on what he's saying. Okay. And it's, that's really the best thing that you could do in terms of learning about what's going on now and even the future outlook on things, because he lets you know pretty much if you just pay attention to what he's saying. So, but I am excited that we got simulation mode in the game. It's finally happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. I think I had on shades that day. I ain't see no pictures. Right. I don't know nothing.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Lobby, man. Ever since Tiger Woods 14 shown that mode, I'm like, yo, Madden. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rex, guys, this has to happen. Like, I don't know how, I don't know when, but it has to happen for real. So, but let's keep it pushing, man. Let's push into it. Let's go.
Yeah, man. Well, we'll dive into it. We do got Relly on, and I'm actually going to throw it to him in just a moment, let him introduce himself and all of his credentials and things like that. I think you guys remember him from the last show, which ended up being one of the biggest shows. I hope we do the same thing tonight. Don't want to take any of his thunder, but I know he wants to comment on where he thinks the divide is with the sim and competitive community. And interesting, man, this is what I want to throw out there first. It's interesting how you see a picture, right? You get a little information. And I have to say this, listen, y'all know I'm fan equal. Whether it's my own community, my own brother, cousin, whoever, nobody's immune to my feedback or my criticism, so to speak. It's interesting to me that a lot of guys in the sim community are all over the competitive as far as what should be in that setting. And I'm like, wait a minute, time out. Let's assume that the picture that Rex put out there is for real. We've been saying for the longest time, find your fishbowl, swim in it. Now, I understand this side of things. I understand guys in the sim community, our community, who wants to say, yeah, I want to compete as well. But here's the thing. This is where I have to always draw the line. Nobody knows how any of this stuff is going to play out. It's amazing. Like Smitty said, I mean, I had to turn off notifications on Twitter the way I would only see them when I signed in. I was like, yo, this is it's good for the game though. Let's not lose that part of it. But I was like, why is it so much? No, this, no, that, no, this, no, that, no, forget you, yo, F that. I'm like, why? We don't even know how any of this stuff is going to play out. And furthermore, we have asked for this. So if we're actually getting this, to me, it's the first step. All the other stuff as far as particulars and all that, because y'all know with me, and I'm sure everybody else here on the show, it's still things that need to be in the game. I'm pretty sure. I can guarantee you that when Madden 18 drops, it ain't going to have each and every single thing that everybody wants. Let's not be crazy here. So we still need a step. And I think that the fact that any of this stuff is even being considered, that's the step. But we always run too far. And like I said, there's so many sim guys I saw trying to, but what if we want to, man, getting ahead of yourself. That's all I'm saying. But without further ado, man, I want to throw it to Madden Universe first. Maybe that's going to segue you into where you think the divide is. But just what are your thoughts in general as far as, first of all, the trailer? Let's talk about how you felt about that. No, actually, we'll come back to that. I don't think that's even relevant. But what was your thoughts initially when Rex basically posted a picture and things just blew up on Twitter?
I need to turn my phone off. It was my initial thought. I kind of got caught up because, as you know, before I came on your show last time, like one of my objectives was to figure out why there was such an issue between communities when both sides have issues within their own community that they need to work out. Because no one really agrees on anything, to be honest. When all this started happening last week, this was after that last time where we had like a 400 post thread that Smitty was laughing at us about. Smitty, I'm sure you remember that. And I got caught up into another one. My phone just would not stop. And I'm like, yo, untag me from this. And Clint was involved, Rex was involved, you know, everybody. And it's just crazy to me. And the biggest thing that I've noticed in the past week is that no one really knows what they want.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, nobody really knows what they want. Because I've done a lot of research on the sim community to try to figure out where we can come closer together. And one of the things I've noticed is no two sim leagues are really the same. Everybody has a different interpretation of what that means.
It's a good point.
Like I'll just give you two examples. I won't even name the names of the leagues. I have one league that I'm looking at right now on my computer who says that you can only use one quarterback sneak per game, regardless of situation. And on fourth down, you can only go for it in the fourth quarter. Then at the same time, another sim league, their fourth quarter rules state, hold on, let me click over, that you can go for it on any time throughout the game on 4th and 2 or shorter, or on your opponent's 37 through 40 through 45 yard line, aka the dead zone. Then I have another league that's sitting there saying that if you send a blitz that can come in when you block more than if you block more than 5 people, or if you block at least 5 people, you're not allowed to use it. I got another league that says you can't run the play twice on the same drive. I'm trying to figure out what's what. Like, say that this picture that's going around is real. Just hypothetically. How is that going to make everybody happy? One set of rules is this divided? That was my question to Smitty the other day, and that's really kind of why I ended up coming on today. Because I'm curious for my own, I'm dead curious. Oh, and by the way, before I pass it back to Sim, I told you a vote ran in the problem what was going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
I told you. You play stick versus stick with that, man, and you see what happens.
I loved it. I just to comment on that, it was crazy, man. Like I did a video on it, I believe, or I may have been streaming, but I wanted Problem to win because, you know, him having the title and all of that, and he hasn't won a major in a long time, so to speak, because I know him personally, cool with him. But then Skimbo as well. Like I met Skimbo. Skimbo was a super cool dude, and he never won. And I'm like, yo, so to see that them two was going at it, I was like, great. I could be happy for one of them, but I was super happy about Problem playing. Oh boy, man, he just, I mean, what did he pick him off 4 times? And I was like, that's what I'm talking about. That, see right there, whether people like competitive or not, you saw specifically the skill set and his strategy to take the swerve away. And I thought that was amazing. But go ahead, Smitty. I think definitely you want to reply to what Relly said.
Like, what was the main question? What was the main question he was asking, Relly? So when I can respond properly.
I was just giving, like, all right, all the different sim leagues. I was researching all these leagues and trying to figure out what the core problem is between the divide of us. And one of the issues that I see is that a lot of the sim leagues don't even agree with each other. Like their rules are so different from one league to the next that it confuses me as to what's really going on. And when I sit there and say, well, that's not really actually simulation football, they get very defensive, cuss me out, call me this, that, and the third. I'm a diva, this, that, all this other crazy stuff. But then when we having a tournament, you want to jump in the tournament and yell at us about the way we play.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, you know, like I don't feel like it should go that way.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's true. I mean, we seen the chat log, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we saw the basically courtroom transcript, you know what I'm saying? In the case of, you know what I'm saying, Sim League versus competition. But it's, you know, my thing is this. See, my point is simple. Does it replicate the NFL? That's it. If it's on the verge of doing so, but not truly clear, you have to put rules in because people will go amok. Even though when you're saying, you know, you're playing against, you know, you're playing against like-minded people, or they should be like-minded people, you're still going to have guys that are going to act out, so to speak. They're going to cheat. You know, they're going to cheese. You know what I mean? Like, I had an instance earlier in the year when it was in Sim Standard League. Dude had violated a rule, and, you know, he was steadily trying to defend against it. And, you know, the thing is that I don't trip about it. It's just like I want to play. Like, I just want to play the game straight up. Just play the game straight up as is. There are guys like, I know if I play against Sim, AZ, Kia, you know, 205, like, there are guys that I know that are going to play straight up. But then at the same time, I know there are guys that will play and utilize some of the in-game malfunctions to their advantage. And I see them, you know, working against the system. That's when you have to make rules and say, okay, on kick returns, you can't do this because this is how the game reacts. Or you can't do this in certain situations because of the way the game is. So, like, I understand that I understand why people have different rules because of the type of players. You know, everybody's you have guys that say they're sim gamers and all that jazz, but everybody has their own mental interpretation of it. So then it's like, okay, that's what you got to set. You know, that's why everybody has a different rule setting. But on the flip side of it, and see, this is my thing. Yes, everybody has their fishbowl, and, you know, if the screenshots telling and the Amazon descriptions are telling, people have their own fishbowls to play in. But the only thing is, and see, this wouldn't be something we would even know about until the game actually comes out and see how the tournament series unfolds. Would there possibly be a simulation mode setting in turning play where you got your competition guys with the competitive settings, but then you'll have sim tournament and they play on the sim settings. You see what I'm saying? We don't know that. So that's something to potentially consider, because it said in the description there that that's the default setting for ranked and head-to-head. I think competitive setting. Yeah, and competitive. Yeah. So, like, that's what it said for it. So if that's the default, then I'm like, okay, so that's the default. Does that mean that it can be adjusted and put onto arcade or simulation? See, that's stuff that we don't know. So then that goes back to what Sim was saying before. It's like people are in such an uproar, and I'm like, and that's the main takeaway I get from it. All we had was a teaser and the cover announcement and the 2 editions. You got your standard and your gold edition. That's all we got. We got no gameplay. We got nothing to go off of right now. And dudes is going in like it's August. And that's why I'm like, man, like it's funny, but it's cool at the same time. But this is cool. Like I said, this is the main thing that I got as far as the whole separation thing. If competitive setting and all that, if everybody has to play tournaments or whatever on the same setting, sim, you know, the only thing that a sim guy can say, honestly, the sim guy would have the edge in the argument in this sense. What happens on Sunday is what we watch. what happens on the Madden tournaments is not what we be watching typically. And plus how people complain. Dudes want to catch every pass. They don't want to drop a single pass. They want to have a robo quarterback. They get upset about fatigue. They don't want penalties being called. They don't want the game. This is the funniest thing. People don't. They say that they don't want it to. They don't want the game to end possibly on a dice roll kind of situation. Yet you play off of dice rolls all game long. What about that offense and defensive line interaction? What about the times when your D lineman loses and wins? That's a dice roll. You're okay with that. What about those wideout DB interaction sequences that happen? You're okay with that.
No, I'm not.
What about trucking? What about, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Well, some people may not be, but because you don't necessarily have control over that sequence, but still, that's a dice roll. And trucking and hit sticking, causing fumbles or not, winning or losing trucks, tackle battles and such. That's all dice roll-esque kind of stuff. So you have all these dice rolls going on. So then when we say, okay, bring all those elements into the game, bring the pass interference, have guys jump off sides and have encroachments, have the animations play out and stuff like that. Bring all of it. Bring the injuries into the fold. Heck, I would love to see composure ratings come into the fold. If your QB gets popped, I want you to take accuracy. I want you guys to lose on accuracy and your O-lineman to lose confidence in the game.
That happens.
You know what I'm saying? No. No, I'm saying
quarterbacks with trigger happy trait. After you've been sacked a certain amount of times, your accuracy decreases by a lot.
No, what I'm saying is that no.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's in the game. I'm not saying it's not in the game, but what I'm saying is that from when I'm watching the game, from when I'm watching tournaments primarily, okay, it's a lot of very accurate passing, and I mean rightfully so. Guys run themselves open and such. But what I'm saying though is just that I would love to see more of that Sunday impact happening in the tournament. Because if I'm playing for money, I don't want to say, well, let's dumb it down to an NFL street level where only a few things matter because I want stick skills to come in. Well, that sounds pretty arcade to me because if I'm playing a fighting game, my stick skills are going to be supreme, right? If I'm playing NBA Jam, my stick skills, or NBA Playgrounds, even that game out, that's my stick skills are going to be, that's what's going to help me reign supreme. Not necessarily my IQ on basketball or in this case football. That's not necessarily going to reign. So it'll play a role to an extent, but it's not the fullest extent because we're only allowing certain things to take place instead of everything. So that's where I'm coming from with it. That's my stance.
Hey, Sim, you mind if I respond to that real quick?
Oh yeah. Go ahead, man.
All right. First off, I'm gonna start backwards and move back.
All right.
The first thing was the arcade feeling. The only person in that tournament that I would equate arcade to would be Voltarax. And as soon as Scheme got put into play against him, what happened?
Yeah.
Because he had no secondary reads.
I was proud of that.
He had one run that he only had one run, strong tight pair, power O. That's it. When you watch Spot Me Please play, how many different formations and plays did he come out in? And very well could have won that tournament on offense. He was running everything from single back jumbo, ace pair, gun bunch tight end, went through damn near his whole playbook.
Mm-hmm.
The people who made it there predominantly had more of a scheme based around what they were doing than just stick. As far as stick skills coming into play and dropped interceptions, most of us don't care if the computer drops a pick. It's when I make the perfect play, I set up perfect, I'm using a DB who has 80-something catch, and the ball hits me right in the face.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I find a problem with it at. As far as the penalties go, if I cause the penalty, I have no problem calling. But Clint actually answered, and I think one of y'all, I forget which one of what y'all was, saw Clint answer the FIFA question that Madden doesn't have the capability of having front-facing penalties yet, which is why we don't have it in tournament play.
Mm-hmm.
Then another thing that also has happened since Madden like teamed up with ESL and this whole MCS started is nothing has been banned. In tournaments in the past, if there was a known exploit that just could not be stopped, it was banned in the tournament. If you ran it, you were disqualified. Mm-hmm. Quarterback rap a couple years ago. Banned at every tournament. It just wasn't as big because, as you know, we lost all the sponsors after Virgin Gaming. Before that, we had Best Buy and all that, lost the sponsors then. And like the type of thing that's going on in the community now is why we keep losing the sponsors. If you understand what I mean, all the infighting and all the things like that, that's why we keep losing all these sponsors and stuff like that. It's not a good look for viewer retention. It's not a good look for business. I don't disagree with you on a lot of things not reflecting. But at the same time, there's a reason for a lot of the things that we do that actually are trying to replicate real football because we don't have those tools in the game yet. Like the articles I sent you, Sim, on pattern matching and crossman. Being actual concept, basic concepts used at the college level by Nick Saban in Florida State and schools like that. They're actually basic concepts. Just in Madden, they work better than they should. But however, if we don't have the correct defense to stop a certain route concept, we have to come up with a way to stop it. Or we're just going to get burnt by it. It's like Peyton Manning just going to the line and seeing the same defense over and over. He's just going to keep hitting you with the same thing. And he proved it over the course of 20 years. He had 10, 11 different route combinations in his entire playbook. Just ran them from different formations.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's one of the things that kind of frustrates me because like I feel like, and I'm not speaking directly to you, Smitty, I just because I can see how you would look at it from the outside looking in. But when I have a conversation, say with someone on Twitter, and every single point I made, no matter how many articles I show them, how much game tape of NFL teams I show them, no matter how many write-ups from actual coaches I show them, I'm still wrong.
Yeah, and let me interject on that real quick. One thing Sim community got to stop doing, especially a decent number of people that were going through that thread, they got to stop acting like everybody. Look, this whole community was not one step away from being an NFL head coach or offensive or defensive coordinator or running Alabama, and you were about to beat Saban out of his job. Like, seriously, everybody is not that well versed in football. Like, there needs to be some sense of humility and be able to say, oh, okay, all right, or I see your standpoint, and actually have football dialogue on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, have some legitimate speech about it instead of just trying to say, I'm right, you're wrong, F you, go over there, good luck with whatever you got, and I'm going to be over on this side. Because it's like, dudes is doing way too much work. And it's like, dude, you need to be absorbing and learning from each other. Like my dude DSK. DSK, he will fly off the rack. And he know that. I've called him on here before. He will fly off the rack.
Shout out DSK.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, that's my dude. Like I'll DM him and be like, man, you need to chill. Like for real, dude. Like just relax.
He be writing about a lot of stuff though.
That's what I'm saying, but he's got a plethora of knowledge, and that's the whole thing. Like his knowledge is greatly appreciated, just like him and Waikia. I love A-Dub because the videos that he put, the little clips and stuff he be posting. I go check out those channels that he posts some clips from and stuff. That's what I'm saying. It helps to learn all these things and help everybody as a collective whole understand better. Then we got more football discussions going on instead of it. Well, it needs to be this way. because that's how I think, and that's it. Like, no. But what about the NFL? There's what you think. There's what tournament gamer thinks, and then there's the standard. That's the NFL. So what can be done on both fronts that contributes to the whole, which is the NFL? You know, like that's the standard. Now, we're not saying the game's got to play literally 1-to-1 like the NFL. That's not going to happen. But what I'm saying is, as far as replicating it as close as we can, we've had games that have done certain things in it that would give us that, you know, real close experience. Like PX1, he tweeted out an article about NFL head coach, and I got to find that article bit, because there was some things, the way that NFL head coach was programmed, that did stuff that would be on some real life level. Like I think it was like offense and defensive coordinators, when certain players retire and they draft new ones or sign different players, they'll change their whole packages. They'll change their offense and defensive schemes, literally going up against you. And that's in the game. You don't have to go in and manually set nothing. They'll do it. And I'm like, yo, take that and put it in in Madden, and that's your franchise stuff right there. That satisfies that crowd. You put that in with your simulation mode setting, you see, and now that crowd's in the house. But
I understand.
We need, you know what I'm saying?
I play that, coach. I know.
Yeah, that's So go ahead, man.
One of the things though that I noticed, and by the way, shout out to DSK too. I don't even like when he be in an argument. Normally it'd be at the end of it, and he already going crazy. But then when I read the thread, he be making sense, and he don't care who it is. He go off the handle on everybody. So, but shout out to DSK, man. I like that dude, man. Like I don't really know him, but I like that dude. But like one of the things that just annoys me is like when you'll have somebody from the sim community sit there and tell someone like myself, oh, if you didn't have the exploits in the game and had to play under my rules, I'd trash you. You're garbage. Smitty, I sent you a message the other day telling you what happened. That video has still not been posted.
Yeah, see, I mean,
just to fill you in, Sim, it was 49-0.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, fill me in. What happened?
It was 49-0. He quit. He was supposed to post a video of him trashing me, and it was a bet of $100, which I didn't get paid.
Wow.
That's always the case, man. That's always the case. They say that dudes don't know. Like the only thing that I don't like, and see, the thing is, people visually see it, and it's because of how the game is being visually perceived as well. Got like you, okay? You and Problem and Mo and all these other guys, you know, Gibbs, Farls, Boogs, and everything. All these guys all have high football IQs and can discuss football all day. That's just like when when Sim and I would go down to the studio sometimes, and we down there talking. We talking all this football, just football talk all day. X and O's, all that. As soon as we get on the Madden sticks and we looking over their shoulder, that ain't football talk right there. That's, you know what I mean? That's that cheddar cheese exploitation gameplay going on there. That's what I see in the Madden tournament. And see, that's the problem. Like I get it. You're playing for bread, and that's how they get down. I get that. And that's where we're saying, see, that's why you got to have the penalties, you got to have the injuries, you got to have all that. Like, that's why people go at that scene that way. Well, at least that's part of it. Because, yes, Voltarax is as arcade as it gets. But at the same time, though, it's not like we don't see anything from Problem that looks that looks arcadey, or Mo or Skimbo or anything. Like, everybody's not just authentic all the time. And I get it. You're playing for bread. So it's like, okay, I'm going to dip into that bag. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna get in that tourney bag, and I'm gonna play in that mindset too. I'm not gonna play straight NFL because I know how these dudes are trying to get down. Nickel 2 Blitz was the defensive theme this year because the the issues with it. So that pretty much was your standard defensive set that was called a lot. And it's like, I get it. It's part of the exploit, you know, and you're trying to use whatever advantages you can. But see, that's where there needs to be some kind of regulation on that. If it doesn't work, or if it's found out to be an exploit, then you got to strike it off the playbook, and you got to use other plays.
See, really,
you know, like
the problem with that though would mean that you basically have to take every DB blitz out of the game this year. Every single one of them. Nickel's just the easiest one to stop everything from.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the blitz coming in and not being able to pick it up, any DB blitz in the game this year can be turned into nickel blitz too. Any blitz out of 4-3 can be turned into it from 4-3 under. And I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't even put this out, but there's a way to make it completely unblockable. I sent it to Clint about 6 months ago. Still there. Sim, you know about coach mode and practice mode, right?
Yeah.
Where if a blue route, you put a blue route on the running back, you can see his assignment on defense.
Yep.
Well, I know how to make his assignment. I know how to make his assignment completely target the safety in the back of the field, no matter how far I back him up.
Good.
Did I put that out? No. You feel what I'm saying, though? Like, it's just like if you were to say this blitz is so powerful it has to come out the game, then you have to take out pretty much any type of blitz from the outside. And we already have nano detection. If you want to tell me nano detection is simulation football, please. Because I'm going to tell you right now, how often do you see a double A gap blitz in the NFL and they mess up pass protection and someone comes screaming right through the A gap? It happens every Sunday. It might not happen
Pittsburgh calls it the fire blitz.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Shazier does it all the time.
It doesn't happen as often, but it happens. I think a lot of the issues that you're seeing, if the game had the tools, if the tools could work correctly, because I think one of the hardest things for Clint, and I've spoken to Clint about this, is making slide protection and blocking and pass blocking overall not only work well enough for everybody to use it, and you actually have to be able to use it in the game, not just do it for you, but also be simple enough for everybody to understand. And that's a hard challenge. That's a really hard challenge. Because if you put out authentic pass protection into the game, you are going to alienate your entire casual crowd. Forget sim and competitive, just the casual player. They're going to be gone. Because they ain't trying to identify a mic, pick a pass protection, change their pass protection at the line, identify the threats, all this, that, and the third. They're not trying to do that. So, like, I think part of this is, like, you know, part of this is more of a gameplay issue than it really is what's real and what isn't. Because I'm going to tell you right now, nickel blitz 2, just as the way it's set up, just your basic setup, linebacker standing in the gap, 4-man rushing, blitzer off the edge. The running back's going to play 2-to-1 by default, looking at that linebacker standing in the gap, and the person that's going to come free is that defensive back. Now, however, me seeing that play earlier in the game should be able to tell the running back either to kick up and the tackle to kick out, or have the running back kick out by my own identification. But I also don't feel like the game should do that for me automatically. Just be like, oh, me as a game saw this before. You understand what I'm saying? And this wouldn't just, and if you put real pass protection in the game, it wouldn't just hurt casual players. It'll hurt competitive players. It'll hurt sim players.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people who have no idea. And that's where I was coming from with the whole these 3 modes things. Like, as I said, can't, you know, whatever. But Rex retweeted it. So how is one sim setting gonna make everybody happy when there's so many differing opinions on what that is?
That's a good question, man. It's a lot that I want to comment on real quick and then come back to you guys. That's one of the main things, which is funny to me because you're right. Let me tell y'all something, man. As a sim guy, there's a whole lot of things that we do in Madden or we don't allow to happen. That's very sim-like. Prime example, y'all know I'm going to use what I know best, my own team. Well, I don't own the team, but y'all know what I'm saying. I've seen the Pittsburgh Steelers hand the ball off to Le'Veon Bell 30 times, and 20 of those plays was the same play.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I'm sorry, AzureEffect, but he remembers. I always use this example against Tennessee. When you literally can hear them on the field, it's the same play. They couldn't stop it. Trap, trap, trap. They could not stop it, right? Now, in Madden, we don't allow that necessarily in sim leagues. However, I'm one of the mindset that feels like, yo, man, if you want to run the same play, that's up to you. But here's the problem. The game is not capable, not even, like Relly said, it's not even about the game doing it on its own. We do need some sort of adaptive AI, but it's also the fact that the tools are not there. I can't tell my lineman to play this technique or tell him to do this, do that, because we think this is coming. And then if you fool me, you fool me. That's sim football. Just like what you said, man, about pass protection. What does quarterbacks do when they go up to the line? Almost every play. There's the mic. Oh, switch. Cancel. And they read, even the commentators say, hey, he's changing the protection, and you see Von Miller creeping. That's sim, right? So, like you said, on one hand, you would like some form of adaptive AI, but I wouldn't want it to be a safety net. Like, I wouldn't want it to be that this guy is blitzing, and now Bell is always going to go after him. Nah, you still want him to make some type of decision. Now, maybe, how about this? Maybe in a key situation, third down, he might say, let me look and see if he's coming. Now, that's cool. That's adaptive AI. But you don't want a fail safe like, they did that 3 times. He got it the rest of the game. Nah, that's whack. But like you said,
Ryan gonna do that. Rex Ryan gonna keep running the same blitz over and over.
Keep coming.
He gonna run the same coverage over and over. If it's working, they ain't gonna. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how NFL coaches are. They're gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
Until you beat it.
Yeah, man. And we gotta have, like you said, the tools. It goes back to the tools. Let me decide. Block him. I don't care what else y'all do. Double team JJ Watt. I want the running back to block him along with the tackle, or watch the guy coming off the edge. And if I make the wrong decision, that's on me. That's the chess match. But here's another thing which Relly alluded to, and I've been saying this. Y'all got to remember, man, like, let's not lose sight of the fact that guys like Relly and others that I've mentioned, I've told you, Problem, Skimbo, particularly because the way he goes through his reads, they know how to play the game. They know the game. If you couldn't do some of the exploits, they would still win. Because like Relly said the last time, I got to remind y'all this. A lot of the stuff that these guys do is in order to combat what everybody else is doing. So it comes down to the game itself. Like, regardless of what setting we're in, which a little contradiction here, I'm going to say this, might be the reason why we're seeing these things being discussed. Maybe that's a bigger thing. I don't know. We'll see. But the point is, the tournament is what it is because of the way people play. And the good guys know how to combat that. So I really feel like if the game was set up differently, if it was more organic, if it was more free of animation and lack of warping and position matters and weight and all that stuff, then it would display itself better, like how we say about FIFA. FIFA looks amazing in the tournament. Just playing that game, you see the player movement, the animations, the interactions between one another. If Madden was like that, you have a different ball game. So I think we definitely got to stop looking at competitive guys and thinking, oh, they're just cheesers. Nah, you're going to have to do that. You know why? Because every now and then you get those sprinkles of guys like Volterax. And there's another guy, Relly, I'm not going to mention his name. He probably knows who he is. I've been at an event with this guy. He wanted absolutes. He don't want no drops, no this, no that. And I'm like, and even guys like Skimbo is looking at him like, come on now.
No,
So
I
you
mean,
always gonna have
even you saw Skimbo drop the bomb to Demaryius Thomas in the tournament. Skimbo was upset that he dropped it, but it was Demaryius Thomas. What's Demaryius Thomas known for? Either big play or a drop.
Right.
Like if I pick those players for my team and I know they have a tendency to do that, hey, you know what I'm saying? That's on me.
And see, that's a sim-like reply. See, guys? You see what I'm saying? You can't label these guys in a box. You heard what he just said. And you know what, man? That's how I want the game. I want the game to respect more stuff like that and find a way. Like you said, it's hard, man. But if they can find ways to eliminate, you can't eliminate dice rolls, but if they can find better ways to identify when things happen, the right animation, or like you said, ratings and traits is dictating this guy might drop it in a big moment. Maybe there's a morale setting in there now, like in 2K. He might drop it, and he drops it. Then you got to live with the fact that you didn't go with a sure-handed guy. So
yeah,
right there, man, you're hearing it from a competitive player. He just told you. See, we share a lot of the same mind frame, man. It's just that when people see the game and how certain guys play versus the way they feel they should play, that's where it gets out of whack.
I got a question for y'all, though. Compared to last year, did this tournament not show a lot better than last year's?
I think it did. I think it showed a lot better. Yeah, I think it did. Because to me, last year, and I'm gonna keep using this guy as an example. I hate to trash him, man. I don't know him, so I don't want to do that. But the Voltarex thing would have flown better last year, if you understand what I'm saying. Like it was, some of the flaws was just so blatant, like the
aggressive catch and the.
Oh God, man! But you couldn't really combat them. But whether the game just worked out in his favor or not, I think when you watch Problem play him and how he defended the swerve, he actually had to use technique, and he was able to knock him out with it. And like you said, I think the game, it definitely displayed a lot better, man. Outside of the problems that we all know that Madden has, I think it shows better.
Football knowledge too. It exposed the football knowledge, because if you notice, Voltarex had no secondary read. He had no reads built into the play. He was just doing auto motion with a streak.
Yep.
Which actually was an exploited thing because the auto motion phase was fixed. But he found one formation that you could flip and still get the speed burst, and then run straight down and do your his little swerve. Which, to be honest with you, is people were overthinking it, which is what I told you last time. If he played somebody who played simplistic, like one of the worst things that I think's happened is the previous play, because people see that play and they think that's exactly what someone's running. That coverage has been changed 30 different ways to look completely different by the time it comes out. So, I mean, it's just, and the reason for that, like I said, is mostly because of the lack of diversity in play calling and formations that we have now. Everything that's been taken out. The hand of God, like Zan calls it, being thrown into the game. That's not sim at all. But you know who, and to be honest, since that got put into the game, the blitzes got worse. They got harder to block after that got put into the game. Clearly. And I hate to say it. I hate to say this, though, but at the beginning of the year when stretch was popular, it wasn't us complaining about that run, bro.
It won't. Now
we're the ones getting blamed that the patch came out and it's not like it was at day one by a lot of people. And I'm like, you're the one that was complaining about it. I was trying to tell you cover 4 stops it. The only run that was broken was counter because it messed up. It glitched the run. The run fits. But it just drove me crazy. It's just like, it's like people say whatever they want to fit their point. Like, and if you can show me something that or make a point to me that says, no, what you just said is wrong, then I'll look at it and tell you right. But if I'm sitting there giving you article after article after article, write up videos from coaches from this, that, and the third, and explaining it to you, and you still sit there and tell me, you know, that's not real, then it's like, wow. Like, what else can I do? Like, I might as well mute you now because there's no point in just listening to my phone go crazy for the next 2 hours. And I'm one of the few people from this side that actually will have this conversation. There's not many of us that will do it.
We need more of it, man. And it's funny, like, and before I throw it to Smitty, because I want to hear your answer to his question too about how you think the tournament showed this year versus last year. But the funny thing about it is we was trying to promote that, right, on the last show. And it was so many people was saying, oh, this was one of the best shows, which I still think it was. But then as soon as, you know, this stuff popped off this week, it's right back at each, like I'm looking at it from afar like this, like, right again. It's right back. And I'm like, why? And again, I have to say this. If what Rex is showing us is the truth, is that not what people have been asking for? So why, Sim guys? I know y'all want to compete as well, but this one thing I did want to say before I forget, before I throw it to you, Smitty. What I wanted to make a point on a few moments ago. Here's the thing: some things just are, and what I mean by that is we can't have our cake and eat it too. Let me explain real quick. We all know the game still has to get to a point. The game, regardless of mode, setting, et cetera, it's the same thing I always say about CFM. So much stuff I want to see in CFM, but if the game can't deliver these things that I'm doing on field, what's the point? So what I'm saying is you got to look at it like this. Why we worrying about, and I'm talking to the sim crowd, we already saying, oh man, but what if we want to compete? Y'all know the game has to be built to a certain level. If you hear guys in the competitive world complain about certain things, and you know daggone well, there's going to be things that you're not going to like. So before you start saying, well, nah, competitive should be this way too, and I get it, but the first thing we got to do is figure out how we label everything. Obviously, EA has thought about that. And then after that point, they can expand on it. Maybe then they can start merging everything back together. But it's like, come on, man. Like, to me, I looked at that as some of the sim guys, and I'm like, come on, y'all bugging them. Like, we've been preaching all along, man, let them play how they want to play. We play how we want to play. But now, it appears that something like that is gonna happen. Now you want to try to tell them how they should play. Baby steps, man. You got to take the first step first. Then after we get everything in the game, I mean, everything that we want, now we can start saying, all right, the game itself just needs to represent football. However, we'll come back to this point, both Relly and Smitty. I want you to think about this after Smitty responds to the question. I want to come to both, well, to you first, Relly, after Smitty. What type of things would you like to see in terms of penalty and fatigue if it wasn't so like dice roll-ish, if that's the word? You know, if there was a way that is more controlled based on traits or something like that, what type of things would you not mind having in a competitive space? But go ahead, Smitty, real quick, man. Answer that question as far as how did last year's tournament compare to this one or vice versa?
I mean, like the tournament got better because the tournament was better because the game got better. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really the main thing I can take away from it. I mean, it was like the games are entertaining. There's certain people that I did want to win. Real talk, I wanted Books to come away. I wanted Books to come away with it because, you know, that's my dude. That's my dude, you know. He's in Atlanta, but he repping Detroit. So that's my dude. But it's like I enjoy it, but it's not entertaining. And what I mean is that I don't like necessarily what I see. But it's like, yeah, it's like it gets me it makes me want to play Madden when I'm watching. Okay. But it's not like, oh man, it sucks. It's about to go off. Dang, I want to watch another game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't keep me like that. And it's because of the whole arcade-ish element that goes on in the game. So, but I'm saying from a development standpoint, in terms of how the game looked, you're seeing more football happen now. I mean, don't get that part wrong. You're seeing more football happen in comparison to 16. But that's why I'm really looking forward to 18, because I want to see how much further in evolution this game is. Because and this is the key thing people got to remember, that had all these rants and spent 12 hours going back and forth on Twitter. Madden is playing from behind, so it's not on the level of FIFA. And that was the point that I was making before about how FIFA tournament scene, they play with all the rules, because those penalties you can heavily user dictate what you do right and what you do wrong. Madden, there are automatic things you just can't control. You see what I'm saying? So that's a huge differential, and that's when I talk about player movement and all that stuff needing to be key, which, or Sim says the most about organic movement needing to be so paramount. You know what I'm saying? And even when it comes to going after the ball, separating those animations and not having it be these scripted sequences where dudes get suctioned in. If you beat my guy off the route, I'm toasted. It shouldn't be I could suction back in and all of a sudden slap the ball away from you. Like, no. That shouldn't be the case. Or suction up for an INT. So those are the kind of gaps and nuances and issues that still need to be cleaned up in Madden, because we don't see those things happening in FIFA. Now, there is stuff that when I say FIFA's perfect, there are things that happen in FIFA, but at the same time, it's done better in FIFA. It's better replicated, and those margins of those in-game errors rearing its ugly head is a lot smaller. Now, that's us speaking from a more casual standpoint, but that's where, the hardcore guys would probably have a different, explanation or feeling on that. But that's what we want. We want Madden to be in that ballpark, where if I just got a step on you and my guy, his arm is out there just enough and he's able to reel the ball in. And if the defender's arm just so happens to hit the ball as he's pulling it in and knocks it out for an incomplete, that's the kind of intricate detail we want it to be. You pretty much got that in FIFA. And you pretty much had that in NHL, but we don't have that in Madden. See what I'm saying? So that's why it looks like it's an arcade thing, but it's not. It's not necessarily meant to be that way, but that's the way it is. So it's like, Rex and the crew are steadily making that authentic replication of football imprint. It's just going to take them time, and this is the part where they're going to end up suffering a bit, because they got to take the L's before they can start taking dubs. So
yeah, man.
That's
real quick,
man.
Let me jump in real quick. Just to set the tone of what's about to happen. We're going into the second hour.
I wanted to answer that question too before.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll let you do that. But let me just let them know what's coming. We're gonna definitely let Relly answer that question and get his quick answer as well on the penalty aspect. But guys, we got 3 people who want to come on to comment, and we have a 4th who is Zulu, who say he's actually able to come on now. I'm gonna just let y'all know I'm gonna give him more time because he was supposed to be a panelist. So we got 205, we got Walter, and we got Dez. I'm gonna send you guys invites. Y'all can come on right after Relly, and try to minimize the time, man, because we got to leave some time for Zulu, because I really believe that's gonna be a very powerful conversation between him and Relly. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's what we're about to do. But go ahead, man.
No, as far as the penalties are concerned, I feel like anything that I cause on my own should be called. Point blank. If I cause the penalty, it should be called, because that's how it actually is in FIFA. That's what Clint meant by front-facing penalties. You see slide tackles, you see yellow cards, things like that. It's all caused by the user. I watched the FIFA tournament as well. The FIFA tournament showed amazing, but the game is leaps and bounds further than Madden is in the development process.
Yes, thank you.
As far as Smitty with the suction animations and things like that and all that stuff, That stuff we complain about too.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying you don't.
No, I'm just saying like I spend all this cap to get a Randall Cunningham in my lineup. And then I get chased down from behind by a 62 speed defensive tackle.
Yeah.
I'm not happy.
Right.
Or if I got Randy Moss on the street matched up with a bronze corner that's 85 speed or something, this shouldn't even be a question. Or I get a linebacker mismatch with a wide receiver because of motion or some other type of mismatch. A lot of these things we agree on, but people just don't see that there's an agreement there. A lot of people, I feel like, just look for the confrontation. And even when you see the agreement, they don't want to have that agreement.
It's a lot of that.
And at the end of the day, if something bad happens in a tournament and the whole world sees it, it's gonna get fixed one way or another. This year, it actually got fixed in a way I feel was bad for the game because of something that happened in the last tournament of the year that got sent down from above the developers. I'm not going to speak on specifics. I just know what happened. Sim, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I think that may have caused a lot of the issues that we see in this year's game. Especially when it comes to the blitzes that a lot of us have an issue with. Because I have an issue with some of the same things with those blitzes as y'all do, as you see now. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. As far as the penalties, I feel like if I'm causing them, they should be called, regardless of whether we in a tournament or not. The dropped interceptions, things like that. If I have a bronze player on the field and he's dropping an interception, he should. And also, I just wanted to speak on one more thing to Smitty. As far as like the fatigue is concerned, you do see fatigue in salary cap. You just don't see it as high of a clip. And I believe that they toned it down because of the amount of players you have on your roster in the cap. However, you do suffer a lot of those hit sticks fumbles come when your running backs fatigue. Like if you see them yellow or orange, you're gonna fumble. Like it happens a lot. And I think that's more of a game mode issue than it is so much.
It is.
Than it is so much us wanting fatigue to not be there. Now, Sam, I know there's some people that want everything to just go their way nonstop, but there's people that's gonna complain about everything no matter what. So you can't really pay that much attention. You know what I'm saying to stuff like that. I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, I mean that's really all I think about that.
All right. Yeah. Well, definitely, man. Hold your energy because I'm telling you, I think that conversation with you, Zulu, is gonna ring off. I can't wait for that. Salary cap is absolutely built like that. Just in case y'all needed me to confirm that, it is. I mean, the fatigue thing is, like you said, limited roster, et cetera, so that they don't fatigue as fast. Hate it or love it. But all right, guys, we got the lineup here. Actually, we got 4 guys before Zulu. I already cleared it with him on Twitter. So, guys, if you can do me a favor, just be brief with your points so we can, still have some time left over for him since he was supposed to be a panelist. And also, if you're not speaking, please mute because we get a whole lot of feedback in the background. So if you're not speaking, mute yourself, if noise is being made. So here's the order. We'll get 205 in first, then Dez, and then Neff, and then Walter, I'm going to send you your invite. After that, we're going to get Zulu in. Now, buckle your seatbelts.
All right, I'm going to mute real quick, and we're going to tell my daughter good night, and I'll be back.
Oh, right? Yeah. Definitely. Family first, man. All right, 205. What's up? What you got for us tonight, man? Unmute. Going once.
205.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
Yeah, there you go.
Got you.
All right.
Sorry. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Man, this whole, I guess, Sim versus Tourney guy, I don't understand it. I don't get it myself because, like, it's 2 different types of players, and you can talk with some guys that understand and then you can talk with some guys that's just way off base and lost their mind, and I don't understand it at all. I enjoy watching the tournaments. I've always watched them. I've watched them ever since Madden Nation Buzz. I've watched them. I mean, I've even been in tournaments and played at the local GameStops or wherever we had NCAA and Madden tournaments. You knew the guys that was cheesing and the guys that wasn't, and you had to go with what you had. I mean, anybody that's in a tournament is going to use cheese if they're trying to win whatever it is, even if it's just a free game or a free gift card from GameStop or Walmart or whatever it is. People's going to use whatever exploit they can find. It's what it is. It's always been that way. I don't care who you are. I mean, everybody's done it at some point. I mean, we've all been young. It's video games. We wasn't all sim heads back in the day. I swear to you. I mean, look how long this has been around. Ain't nobody been a sim head that dang long. I mean, the only reason why this ever even started up is because we only had Madden. And, I mean, used to, who cared? I mean, we had, what do we have? 989 Sports had Game Day. People had 2K. People had Madden. People had, Joe Montana. They had every choice they wanted to play. I mean, we've all played Blitz. Who's saying that we ain't played Blitz? I mean, I played NFL Street. I love that game. It's a freaking video game at the end of the day, but do I prefer to play simulation when it comes to Madden? Yeah. And why? It's because I've gotten older. And I want to try to replicate what I see on Sunday. The fact of the matter is I was wanting to go to EA Play this year. See Rex, see y'all guys, but I only wanted to go because 757. He was going to try to go together, and, well, he couldn't go, so I decided to just get myself a gift, so I'm joining the Xbox crowd, too. I'm a gamer, so at the end of the day, I'm going to play Madden. Am I going to fuss and get aggravated with things that happen? Yes. And you're not going to see me on Twitter screaming and hollering at anybody anymore. I haven't done that in so long, it ain't funny. So I don't care if you're a attorney guy and you're trying to go after $150K or $1 million, your cut of it, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all wanting this game to be football. Or at least I am. I don't know about anybody else. I want it to be football. And the closest it gets, the better. I mean, even 757 said it. Put us in tiers. Let us play with the guys that we want to play with. Back in the day, I think it was the PS2 version. I can't even remember which one it was, but we had fair play. That wasn't a complete sim, but it kept you from going for it on fourth down and a million miles or whatever, back in the day. You had to punt the ball. You just had to do, had to play the style of fair play. I mean, even John Madden will sit there and say you should be punting the ball. People don't punt the ball in Madden. We all get on draft champions and we're still trying to go for it on 4th and 2 or 3 or 4 or even 10. I do it. I mean, even when I play draft champions, because you got a limited amount of time. You got a 4-minute clock. Think about it. You only get the ball for it a certain amount of time. So you think about that simulation. You got to try to manage the clock. I mean, it just is what it is. And I guess I'll let y'all go with that. I want to hear what Zulu has to say. And yes, Zulu, I'm going to get the rest of the videos out. I've got a lot of things going on. But yeah, I'll get them out, man. I'll talk to y'all later. Take it easy.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you coming on. I think that was a great point he made about listen, we all should be just worrying about getting the game better. Let people play how they want to play. Like you see in the competitive world. The way Reliant plays is different from a Voltaraz. So that just shows you right there. Stop putting them in the box. Des, what you got for us, man? Come on in.
Yo, fellas, what's going on? Real quick, man. Cause I gotta hear Zulu. I don't care what Zulu talks about, man. My respect forever, man. Love, and the shows, like I said the other time, the shows with 205, 757, and Zulu, off the chain, man. They're great conversations. I sat through a whole day of work listening to y'all talk, man. So nothing but props. But this goes back to the question that was on the show a couple weeks ago: was what do we even want Madden 18? And it was a resounding question mark from everybody. and you know you just want to continue the way it's been going. And when it's all said and done, everybody who's come to this conversation tonight has explained why a different mode would benefit from any of these gameplay aspects or any of these gameplay modes. And if I'm sitting here with, if I'm sitting here in simulation mode of my franchise, and the first thing I see is that the player ratings and whatnot are going to matter more than anything, that tells me that now we validated CFM, right? Now even if they keep the system the exact same way, if they're just saying off the strength that the gameplay itself is going to be 100%, well, I can't say 100%, by about one sentence is saying it's going to be driven by the players' ratings and the team ratings or whatever the case, that's automatically going to make it better. So whatever ends up happening, man, it really don't even matter. Like, I can't understand why anybody's tripping right now about anything. Like, I can't understand it. So I'm curious to see what y'all going to talk about, man. My man, Relly, you the man, man. Like, you had me over here cracking up laughing, putting people on blast because you're speaking the truth. I don't understand why everybody crying so much. I don't understand why everybody's just crying so much. The number one thing, how many people finish skills training with 100% gold before they complain?
Yeah.
That's my only question to the entire community.
Yeah.
Did you finish skills training with 100% gold before you complain? If you did, seems like you got a little bit more of a leg to stand on in that situation, but that's just my opinion. Who am I? End of the day, man, y'all talking about it's not even 3 months, barely 3 months until we get this thing in our hands, man. I feel like I'm still learning how to play 17. I mean, I have to relearn how to play it every 6 weeks, but that's neither here nor there. All I'm gonna say, man, is nah, man. What I'm hoping is, man, after 3 years of this, after 15, 16, and 17, getting a wet game off, like at day one, you get a wet game, and they keep changing it from a month, maybe 6 weeks into the game, and they keep changing. You can't really learn. AZ said it so many times. I remember in the Sim Standard League last year, he got all those defensive linemen. They were completely useless by February. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I could get by in this game now with having all 75 corners. I can't relate to the MUT or the draft champions like that, but in my CFM world, I could start a rookie corner in the 3rd round, and I'll be all right because I got nice safety. In the beginning of the game, if I had weak corners, they were getting all types of roasted. My passing game, when the game first came out, I could pass the ball infinitely better than I have been able to since they started changing things. And I'm not even going to go back and forth into all that. What I'm hoping, like I said, is that I hope that when it's all said and done, the launch version of this year's Madden, for whatever Madden it is basically the beta of next year's Madden. Because whatever feedback they get from that is where they're going to, all the stuff that everybody complains about this year is going to be what they set up for next year. All the stuff that the game changers hammer on from year after year is the stuff that's going to get added or improved on in the game in 2 or 3 years. I don't understand how the formula isn't clear at this point. Like, just live your life. You're going to buy Madden every single year. Yo. Madden costs $1.12 a week. Put $1.25 in your piggy bank every single week, and you will be able to afford Madden. It's not that big of an investment, grown-ups. It's not that big of an investment. It should not induce this much emotion.
I tell you, man. It's a game
That's
at
all,
the end
man.
of the day.
It's a game. It's a game. And here we are on the radio show talking about it, and that's how much it means to us. So let's not get it twisted. While it's a game, it is our game.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? In the same way that our fathers played their poker and went bowling and do whatever they did, this is how we operate. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we got the system. Everybody in here, if you haven't come across like a complete D-bag to the daggone developers, they've engaged you in conversation on social media at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be mad at the overall scope of what's happened, man. It's a net positive across pretty much every single plane. So y'all fellas have a good night, man. Y'all be safe. I'm gonna be listening.
Absolutely, man. That's our boy Dez coming through. Great stuff right there. I'm gonna get Neff here in just a second, but I just wanted to say this real quick because I saw Madden Universe was posting it in the comments. Nah, man, it ain't no trap situation. It's just that I love Zulu's perspective, and I love yours. And what I actually think is going to happen is there's going to be a lot of similarities. You'll see. All right, now, real quick, now, come on through, man, and then we're going to get Zulu up in here.
Hey, y'all have me feeling like I was walking.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So I'm listening to all the conversation. What's up, Relly? I see you over there smiling. You got your nice headset. I'm going to steal off your ass one day. But anyway, I got a collection going. All y'all stuff is gone. But, it's like this with me. I'm a franchise guy. I don't sit here and compare what they do online to what they do in a sea of film. That's no comparison, man. You're playing for money. Against the computer, you're playing for yourself. You're not going to sit there and cheese yourself to win a game. Well, some people do. But why would you even care? It's up to them how they play. When I go to GameStop and I buy the game, I don't buy it because I see a bunch of people doing this and that. I buy it for me. I'm going to play it the way I'm going to play it. And that's the bottom line. I don't never see Sim. I'll throw you in there, Relly, or Smitty, or anybody in the comments sitting at GameStop saying buy the game and cheese it. Never, ever have I seen that. And I'm getting tired of these people on Twitter. All of a sudden, it's Madden season. See, we used to have spring, fall, winter, and summer. Now we got Madden season been at it. Because every year on Twitter, these dumb blankety blanks, I kept it clean, will come on Twitter and start messing with everybody's blanking mind, talking about, this game is still the same. You can't do this. You can't do that. First of all, go buy it. Because most of them played on a download. You know that. The same ones that say,
of course
I never play Madden. I haven't played in 20 years. Then
they know all the problems.
Yeah, then N-word, you've been playing it all the time. A lot of them N-words, they don't want to admit that they play the game. They don't want to admit it. But it's the only NFL game out there. You can't play Access Football All Pro and get hype and happy and go online with your friends. You got to play Madden, like it or not. And that's where I look at it. I'm going to play my game the way I'm going to play it. If I want to play cheese, I'll play cheese. I'm playing against me, so it don't matter. But you go online, I know there's people with rules. Is that? Don't play in their leagues. Make your own league and see how hard it is to run one when you put in 60 different rules and nobody wants to listen to. Football is football. I don't care if it's a game, but football is football. If you have general knowledge of football, you should be able to play the game the way you feel is replicated in real life. You're never going to get it down perfect, but damn it, I'm tired of these people acting like they can make the game play like real football. It's a video game. And at the end of the day, you're not going to get real football. You'll get real unis, real stadiums, real mad because you lose, but that's about it. So all I'm telling y'all is when I get Madden 18, I'm going to play the blank out of it, and I don't give a blank because you blankety blanks, N-word blanks. Think about it. I'm out.
Yo, Neff coming through, killing it, man.
Wild, man.
That dude is hilarious, man. That's my boy right there. Oh yeah, Neff. We appreciate you, man. And definitely before we get started with the next thing here, I gotta laugh and shout out DJ81. My man said Madden haters is equivalent to cicadas. And for you people who've been in that era, y'all know exactly what he's talking about, how they come up out the ground. That was hilarious. You almost made me choke when I saw that. But
I had to mute my mic.
Oh, yo, DJ, that was ridiculous funny, man. But look, man, we got our man Zulu on. We got Relly on. I guess we could throw it to Zulu because he hasn't had the opportunity to speak yet. Man, whatever you want to comment
I'm in trouble.
Nah, man. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Trust me, man.
I'm just playing.
But whatever you got for us, Zulu, man. You want to comment on all of the ruckus that's been going on? I know you've seen it on Twitter. You've probably been a part of it, and just how you feeling about how tonight's conversation has gone as a whole.
Well, how y'all doing tonight? Let's just start off there. I mean,
good, man.
This show, it amazes me that we can have all these different perspectives, not cuss each other out, not get in a flame war, not chase each other all over Twitter. We can still disagree, and we all, at the end of the day, want a better game. It's kind of funny. And I think that, the Sim Standard Hangout is like, no matter how ignorant folks are on Twitter, when they come to the Sim Standard Hangout, they realize, oh, wait a minute, we're all trying to build here. So, I first want to just start there and just say I'm just so glad we didn't start it out. I think, well, I started out with y'all with Blog Talk, but I'm so glad that you migrated over here and done this thing, because we can have once a week a respectful discussion about this game and how to make it better, how to improve our community, because ultimately that's what this is about.
Thanks.
I love the conversation tonight. In my humble opinion, especially given all this stuff that's going on, there are two things going on at the exact same time. Number one, I think that EA has folks real shook right now because we're running out of excuses. When you start imposing football logic on a football game, people are now frightened that they won't be able to transfer over their limited gameplay. Right now, folks are arguing over sim mode. Wait a minute. You can play any way you want to right now. You can play any way you want to, and you're scared. So that's one thing that's going on right now. That there are folks who call themselves sim style that are shaking because they realize they don't even know what's going to happen. It's the unknown that frightens them. They don't know what sim mode's going to be about, and they might find themselves kind of tiptoeing through the tulips into some other mode. But they want so hard to ride sim mode, and they're the exact opposite of Rex's vision. So that's what's going on right now. On the other hand, we have folks who look at this as a golden age. In my humble opinion, this sim mode is the most significant innovation since they added hot routes to the game. That this ought to be the moment that folks are bringing in old homies who done retired from Madden, who said, well, I don't know, I'm going to go play some other game. You can pull them back in and say, hey, you can play any way you want. We're moving toward the future. Now, I think like when we get around Madden 2020, or even though that sounds like a long time from now, it really isn't. I think the Madden app will wind up being the most important feature. And we're really overlooking the significance of being able to do, just with the upcoming Madden 18, I think they said you'll be able to do 3/4 of your franchise, your CFM stuff on your phone, from your phone. If that's true, imagine where we'll be in 2020. So when I think about, what to look forward to, in the immediate future, we got a sim mode that allows you to do anything you want, but you got two other modes. Stop complaining. Well, there's nothing to argue about. Then you also have the future that Rex is envisioning with the Madden app. Goodness, we're going to be able to remotely manage our franchise. We'll be able to perhaps manipulate contracts, check out our rosters from our phone. Do you know that in and of itself is an advertisement? And I hope Rex is listening. But yo, dog, this is an advertisement for the game. You're gonna have folks spending mad money on the app after they buy the game. Franchise mode, that's gonna give you a revenue stream. But there's one more thing, and I'm the mad moderate. You don't hear too much hate from me. You're not gonna get too much praise to try to be right down the middle of the road. My dad is Cadillac. In Madden, I think it was Madden 16. When folks were going crazy over the aggressive catch. The solution to the aggressive catch was to modify or nerf, whatever you want to call it, somehow change the wide receiver DB interaction. Instead of magnifying or tweaking pass rush. See, if I'm able to sit back for 10 minutes, of course, I don't have to, learn any routes. I can just toss it up. But what if I realize, there's a give and take to this. If I start tossing it up too much, what if there is a modifier in dime or nickel that allows or accentuates pass rush? Then I got to be careful. Now I got to be a little bit more strategic. What if a person with, let's just say 83 finesse move or 83 power move? What if you start hitting too many deep balls, there's a trigger that allows them to pass rush a little bit better? I think that would have gone over a little bit better than simply preventing Julio Jones from going up, getting it, and beating up on 73 or 82 or 85 rated overall DBs. That's just my way of saying, Rex always says there's a football solution to Madden problems. And I'm saying, yes, accentuate that, though. You don't always have to patch and nerf things if you accentuate other areas of the game, which leads me to this kind of final point. I just wanted to kind of get this all out because it was just dynamite tonight. So I just want to throw this out there. But this golden age allows us to ignore negative people. I'm not sure we understand that yet, but negative people are really the worst thing about Madden right now. Like the thing that hurts our community, and I'm not even someone, I hate looking at the tournaments. I hate hearing all this tournament talk, but tournaments are important to esports, and they're important to the future of the game. I'm not going to be the one that says we shouldn't have tournaments. I just wish our game were able to replicate what we see on Sunday so that we could continue to refine the tourney experience. With that said, the negativity in the Madden community is the thing that is hurting us the most. We should have greater influence, and I mean across the spectrum. We should have greater influence over the devs and with the company than we have right now. We have so many folks who think it's more important to be right than it is to have a conversation. And that is to our detriment. That hurts us. In my Madden community, and like someone was saying earlier, it's very hard to run your own community. I've been rolling hard my community continuously since Madden 2004. Negativity it kills a community. Multiply that by the thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who play this doggone game across the world. And imagine how that small body of people who are negative on social media make it so that Rex has to be careful who he interacts with. We need to invert that. We need to make it so that we have football conversations about the future of this football game. Instead of talking about tourneys and sim and all that, we need to find out, well, what is Rex's vision? How does he want us to play it? Now that we have 3 different gaming modes, we have 3. He's basically saying you can do what you want. There ought to be a spectrum, a discourse, if you will. There ought to be a spectrum of discourse, of discussion about how to play the game. Rex tweeted the other day talking about, well, he loves going over the middle. He may have to modify that a little bit because he even said he's throwing like 2 picks a game. And he said, but depending on the mode that he's playing on, those picks differ. The amount of picks that he throws differs. It could be twice as much. It could be half that much. It depends on who's trying to intercept the ball. We can expand our conversation. We don't have to be negative. We shouldn't be negative anyway. But now, ain't no excuse. You got 3 modes. So, just to kind of end my little thing here, that we have 3 modes. This is the most significant change to Madden since Hot Routes. This is going to change the way we play the game, and we can play any way we want. So I'm kind of back away off of that. I'm not jumping off necessarily. But I'm backing off of that because I know it's speechified for a minute. But you don't know how I'm like a little kid. I'm so excited, y'all, and this is like day one. This is the preseason of our future.
Well said, man. I definitely want to get Madden Universe's thoughts. And before we do that, let me just say I cannot confirm nor deny what you guys are talking about. I don't know.
Yep.
Let me say that one more time. I cannot confirm or deny what these guys are talking about in terms of modes and style. I don't know nothing about that. Madden Universe, go ahead, man. Really?
Yeah, man. What's up, Zulu, man? Nice to meet you, bro. No, actually, I agree with a lot. You was right. I thought I was walking into a trap the way y'all was talking.
Nah, I told you, man.
I thought y'all had me on the setup, but nah. I agree with a lot of what he's saying. Like, the arguments are it's so ridiculous at points. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, we should all be one community, not frowning on each other and trying to pull each other down, especially the devs. Like, the devs hear all day long what they did wrong. They don't never hear what they did right. And I think I brought that up last time, And like, I feel like they improved the game a lot. since they've come on. And it's only going to get better, because I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I might not be at every event in Orlando, but I talk to Clint and Rex a lot.
Yeah,
Whether
daily
it's, almost, yeah. And I send them stuff, like I said earlier in the podcast, that if you think you see stuff now that's cheesy, man, some of the stuff that some of us send to Rex and Clint would have y'all sick, because all right, earlier in the year, Sim, you remember the left tackle when he would block the invisible blocker?
Oh God!
Okay.
You know who figured that out in 5 minutes and sent it to him?
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just like, like there's a lot of things that like are generalized statements that people don't understand somebody, and just because they don't understand, they just want to go after them and just attack, when a lot of the things that you do don't make sense to me, which is why at the same time I'm trying to come to that understanding. And coming on this show the last 2 times, I've learned a lot. I've after your show last time, I had a lot of Sim people follow me, and I had productive conversations, and then I had conversations where people just had to get blocked.
Oh yeah,
Right.
you always gonna get that.
Right.
That's when you made it.
Right.
You know you made it when you get that. Yes, sir. You're gonna get that.
But one thing I want to say though, I want to interject there, is that in regards of like what Madden you said basically, or Relly basically said in terms of how he spotted that play and that issue. See, that's the stuff that Sim, myself, and Azure, we say all the time, like, man, hey, look, Gibbs and Farls and, our dude Mole, shout out to Mole. And even then, like when we would go down there, see, that's the funny, when we first went down there, we'd be shaking our head. Like, cause that's the stuff that we got mad at. Is it, like we're upset with the cheesiness and everything. It's like, man, come on, man, that's some bull. But when it comes to feedbacking and those feedback sessions and everything, and these dudes got boards and stuff up there, and it's like, yeah, we never would have spotted that. So it's like when it comes to like what you like what you find really like plays like that. I don't know if we had Zan on here, he would be able to tell a whole entire plethora of things that nobody in the sim community, or I would say pretty much nobody in the sim community, is honestly gonna find and be like, oh, that's an issue. These guys do a real good job at finding out issues, and that's the whole thing. Like they want a much cleaner game. It's not like, oh, bet the game's broke. That's exactly how we want it. Like, no, they want the game to be legit. It's just that once, like we was talking about earlier, that's just the way the scene is shaped out to be right now. The whole arcade look and feel and the visual, that's the perception, and that's the way it is right now. Until this game let this game get to a level of FIFA. I promise, I won't say I promise you, but I would feel, I would feel extremely confident that it would completely, it would be a whole shift, because you would have all the penalties, you would have all the penalties, you would have all the fatigue, they would have that balance out more, injuries, they would have confidence, like all those things. And what I'm saying is they would make those things balanced out. There would be a lot more weight on those things.
Well, the future, that's the future of the game. I mean, our whole conversation tonight really just been about the future of the game, because I remember joining y'all. I think it was Madden 16, but I think it was. But I remember y'all saying way back then you're excited for 18, and I was like, well, what you talking about? I was like, y'all know about 18 already? I'm like, man. But now that I'm hearing about this, I'm like, oh, I can see that now. The whole
that's what it was.
It's true. I mean, this is like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, while I come from a sim background, a community sim, all this other stuff that we want. The one thing that I can say everybody wants that I can't say that was true way back in the PS3 generation. The game has evolved, but so have we. Like the Madden gamers who are still here, even though we argue and act a fool and we cuss each other out and all this other stuff, and you may see some funny things in terms of our interaction with the devs. We're actually better now than we used to be. So I mean, because I come from that old school message board culture. I've seen some nasty things on the message boards way back in the day. So as the game evolves, it's going to force us to get better, or we're just going to mob out. I mean, and that's the reality. So to a certain extent, while I don't like looking at the tourney, because I look at these tourney games, and I'm like, man, that ain't even football. That looks like capture the flag to me. But I understand that, well, it used to be worse. You know, like the game is evolving, and the tourney players are better than they were back in the late PS2 and early PS3 generations when it was just all holy hell. I mean, so I'm that moderate. I'm the guy who says I feel like we have a long way to go, but Rex is our savior. I can't say that Madden would be a title that people talk about optimistically if he didn't assert himself. Imagine, you know, a guy who takes nothing but ridicule almost every day, particularly after he sent out that patch in, what was it, October? And he still comes on Twitter. He doesn't duck out. There are politicians right now who can't do that. And Rex he's a real man. I respect him. So I'm very optimistic with regard to the future. And that optimism is tied to the way in which we as the gamers are evolving.
Yeah, man. And I want to get to this next thing real quick because it's probably going to be the last thing we can cover looking at the time. But I got to ask all of y'all because I just want to hear it. But there's a twofold question. I want to hear you guys' thoughts just a little bit on the trailer. Again, I'll say this. I don't know if everybody saw the video I did. Yes, Heinz Field looks like that. I seen it look like that. There's more I can say, but I don't know where the gray area is, so I'm going to back off. But the stadium looks like that. Trust me. Here's the next thing I want to know. I want to know what you guys, and I'll come to Smitty first, and then we'll go to Relly and then back to Zulu. I want to know what you guys think specifically about some of the things that seem to be the features in Madden. Like, what do you think those things translate to? But primarily, there was a tweet that Rex put out. He was talking to somebody, and he said he wants him to remember two words, and it was positional advantage. So I want to know what you guys think that may mean. And this last quick thing, Smitty, before you go, here's where me and Smitty and Azure come from, this standpoint. When we said that back then, we already knew Frostbite was coming. Already knew that 2-3 years ago. Now, here's the funny thing with us. You guys are waiting to see what 18 is. On our side of things, I'm waiting to see what exactly, how can I phrase this? I'm waiting to see how much of what they thought they was going to be able to do going into Frostbite will be done, because I already know the vision. Like this year, next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. Like I already know stuff, and I'm trying to see how surprised I will be by where they finish for the current product, because a lot of times they're able to do stuff that you didn't think, oh, I thought that one would be till next year. Oh, you got that this year? Okay, word. That's how we look. We almost see it from a dev standpoint. That's why when people ask me, hey, man, what do you think? Are you, bruh, excited? Or I can't really be that way because I already know what 18 is. I'm more excited for you all to see what's going on. And then EA Play, I'm open book. We can talk about everything. But let me come to you first, Smitty, man. You know, your initial thoughts of the trailer, what you saw there, and also, what do you think that positional advantage means? Because I will say this. Here's the catch. I know nothing about positional advantage. That's an example of what I just told you. I saw Madden 18 way early. There's always things that happen during these, they like to call them sprints. During the second and to the last sprint, there's things that happen. Like positional, what was it, formation subs last year. That wasn't there early in the year. I came back. I was like, oh, how'd that get there? See what I'm saying? They click in the right stick, and I always try to take credit for that because that was one of my main ideas. I told them early, came back, they had it in there. And now you don't have to be spying the guy. That was one of my ideas. See, so you never know. So I'm as intrigued about this positional advantage as well. But I was like, And then when I asked Rex about it, you know, Rex has a funny way of sometimes not saying nothing because he wants you to be a little surprised as well. So what you think, Smitty, on those things, man?
Well, first of all, I mean, not much to think about in regards to the trailer. But thing is, we knew, like you said, we knew it was coming about I was like, that's a good time mark, about 2.5 years ago. We knew Frostbite was coming. So it's like to see, you know, it coming to fruition. The real thing that I really am intrigued by is the whole story mode. You show Lucas Oil Stadium and, you know, hey, man, how many years have we said we needed the combine involved? You see what I'm saying? So it's like you already know the combine is involved to some degree now. What extent? We don't know. We'll find out. But for those of y'all that got FIFA 17, especially if you guys are on Xbox One, FIFA 17 is in the vault. Get it, play the journey. That's a nice feeler in terms of a story. You know, I'm not saying it is parallel one-to-one. I don't have any insight, and I'm not giving any insight on what's going on in Madden. But I'm just saying, just to get an idea. You know what I'm saying? Don't sleep on that sucker, though. Don't sleep on it. That journey is tight. Don't sleep on that. Okay, that's a feeler. But outside of that, though, and this was something, you know, somebody pointed it out on Twitter as well, and you know, Sim and I, we had a little chat about it as well. Ezekiel Elliott, that spin with the leg kicked out. Now,
I pointed that out. I sure did.
The leg kicked out. You know what I mean? And he got a play in the game in real life where he had the leg kicked out, doing a spin move like that. Now, when I think about positional advantage, two things. One, based off of the tweet that Rex had responded to, that's why I made the video off of, was like, wait a minute. It seems like it's talking about the wideout DB interactions, but does this go in line with what happens on instances like that Ezekiel Elliott play, which I seriously hope that they separate animations more. Excuse me, that there's more separation in that regard. And positioning is mattering a lot more, not only with spin moves, you know, not only with the players' wideout DB interactions, but also interactions as far as just across the board. The trenches in terms of positioning and you know, gaining advantages, gaining ground, losing ground, etc. And even in the open field, doing juke moves and things like that. We have organic tackling and stuff going on, but we need to have a lot more. Okay, and that whole organic element, Sim says it the most, but we've said it many, many times before, and we said it to them directly. We need that sucker to be viral in the game. Okay, that whole organic, untethered, make the surface matter, attaching players to the surface. Size, weight, all that jazz mattering. So, that's my feeling as far as that positional advantage. I think it's something that may account for the way players interact across the board. And then also one last thing, Rex said this in a stream while he was playing, and this wasn't during the tournament. He was playing himself, and he tried to perform a juke, and he wasn't able to get free or whatever, and defender was able to stop him. But he said next year, due to the step loco system that we have in place, that's going to be a juke. I would have broke him off, and I'm like, Now I think about the loco, okay? Think about how the
I don't know
logo
nothing. I don't
has
know what you're
been.
talking about, Smitty.
Yeah, see, this is from. See, this is. See,
hold on, Smitty, real quick. Let me say this because I ain't mean to cut you off, but I have to say this.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Y'all know Sim. I said Sim. Speaking my own name. Smitty and myself and Azure always tell y'all the truth. I never lie to y'all. Y'all know sometimes I say, "Yo, I'll drop a little nugget." This ain't no nugget. This is not that whole spin move stuff. That's just something I observed. It was like, whoa, wait a minute. And then Neff sent me the link, which I posted in the chat. I said, yo, because the reason why I thought about it, guys here on the panel, is because somebody, people's out there saying, oh, same old moves. I was like, no. That spin is not at 17, bro. I ain't never seen that particular one. So then when I saw the real life footage, I hope y'all look at it. I was like, whoa. Now, is it a canned animation? I don't know. Does that mean that it's some signature stuff going on? I can honestly say I don't know. Like I told y'all, this year was a little different. I saw things early. And then Rex making that comment, and then Rex tweeting the positional advantage. That stuff right there is new to me. The meat and potatoes of the game, yes, I know. But I can honestly tell y'all that stuff right there, me seeing that animation, I was like, oh. So I gotta say that this ain't a nugget. This is pure speculation. But go ahead, Smitty. My bad. I just had to say that because I know people usually listen to what we say and run with it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this ain't no nuggets. This is just straight up. Rex said it based off of a play that happened in Madden 17 when he was streaming, and he was saying that, yo, Madden 18, due to the step loco system that's in the game, that would have been a juke all day. I would have beat him. And I'm just thinking about, okay, so when we look at the locomotion system that's been in the game, especially from 25 and everything else or what have you, it's the stuff you think about. You see what I'm saying? And that goes back to the point with what Sim is saying. There are things that we get knowledge about, we're privy to, but it's so early. Then at this point, things, accelerate. Because we've had chats in previous shows. We talked about sometimes things are there, sometimes things get took out. You know what I'm saying? And there's some things that people would get upset about if we were to tell you, like, oh man, they had this and this was going to happen and that was going to happen, but didn't happen. But no, as far as 18, that's pretty much my whole takeaway. The story element, that the visuals, I can't wait to get a much better look at the visuals in terms of the game when it's running and everything, because I play FIFA 17 and I just be thinking from what I'm seeing in there, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, now I wonder how how's it gonna look with the NFL twist? You know what I'm saying? Like, how's everything truly gonna pop out? I want to see Ford Field, especially with them new unis. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like I'm just really anticipating it. But that's pretty much my whole take, man. I'll throw it to Madden. You got it, brother.
Yeah. We can't hear you.
Yeah, you gotta unmute yourself.
We
can't hear you, man.
He was unmuted, but it's weird. We couldn't hear him though. Nope.
You mean check your settings. Check your settings and make sure your mic is set to the right.
Yeah, because we got you off.
Because I
muted it.
Yeah.
You got me now?
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. That's weird. But no, as far as the positional advantage thing, I guess I have the advantage on y'all two yet. I can't say nothing.
Let's go. Man, see, really,
see, I can't do it.
I tried to go to the alley. This is what I was hoping.
No, because if I say it, then the information that I get, I won't get no more.
Yeah, well, cool. I was hoping. Look, this is what I was hoping. I was hoping that knowing how you talk to the dev, you won't under no type of NDA or nothing. And I was hoping you was gonna say, "Well, I kind of know But that's all right. I get it. Don't say nothing.
Oh, I
Don't mess that up.
I actually do, but I don't want to mess up that relationship. Y'all knew about Frostbite 2.5 years ago. I knew about it at the beginning of 17. Around that time, right before 17 came out, I found out about it. I also knew stuff that was supposed to be in 17 that didn't make 17.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I was pissed when I got the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. As far as the trailer, I expected a lot of the things that I saw, like when Tom Brady was coming out and all the optical flares and things like that, and a lot of the graphical things that you didn't see in the past. Knowing that Frostbite was there, my biggest takeaway was the story mode. It looked kind of dope, like just the whole idea of it. And that's not something that I've ever really participated in. Like I haven't even played franchise since I think Michael Vick was on the cover, bro. Like when we would do, you be sitting around with your friends, you do a fantasy draft, someone tries to get Michael Vick and Moss on the same team. You know what I'm saying? So it like back then, like that's the last time I really paid attention to franchise. That's why when anybody asks me about CFM, I send them to Shopmaster. Because that's not my lane. That's shop all day long.
All day.
My biggest takeaway and my biggest thing to say about Madden 18, man, is like a lot of people need to stop making assumptions now off of that teaser. A lot of people don't need to chill out just because some of the stuff they read on Amazon. Because when they see how many days we got till June 9th, things gonna change. Things gonna change a lot. A lot of people's opinions are gonna change a lot, and then there's gonna be those people who still think, oh, it's the same game. It's not. But and by the way, Sim, I'm probably gonna be under NDA soon too. So like I don't want to mess up that either.
Yeah, they're gonna lock you up. Don't worry about it. Bro, that's what they're gonna get you on paper, man. You're too valuable now.
I ain't trying to mess that up either. I'm just waiting on a couple pieces to fall through. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
don't do it.
No, you got 22 days.
Yeah, I should be out there. Barring something happening financially or family wise, I'll be there. I got my ticket a while ago. But yeah, man, like as far as Madden 18 goes, man, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the future of everybody in all the communities, to be honest with you. Speaking for myself, I got my health back, so I'm playing Madden. I'm getting back into competitive, like real competitive mode next year. So look out for that. As a lot of y'all don't know, a lot of people don't know, I was in the military. I couldn't use my half of my left hand for about 4 years. So I've been playing basically with 1.5 hands, essentially.
Oh man,
for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just getting my stick back. So like this year, I really didn't compete. I didn't see the need to because I felt like I couldn't yet. So,
well, thanks for the service, brother.
Oh no, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. He said TMZ reports you're under NDA. Keep it grinding. But no, man. But like, I also wanted to say, man, I really appreciate y'all for having me on y'all's platform because I feel like this is the best conversations that I've seen had in between everybody. Even in the chat, I see people in the chat right now that go in on each other on Twitter.
Yeah.
But right now, like the conversation is completely different. You understand what I mean? And that's why Twitter ain't the best place to have a conversation. You got 140 characters. You got 30 people in one conversation. People are responding all over the place to different topics. Everybody gets confused and nothing really gets worked out. And Zulu made a lot of great points. I can't disagree with him. If he doesn't like watching competitive, he don't have to watch it, like just like anybody else. But I will say this, one good thing that's coming, I don't know if you saw the article, Sim, for our community, as long as we don't screw it up, NFL teams are starting to get interested in sponsoring players.
Oh yeah.
We got many other brands. We got Fox Sports talking about getting involved. What surprised me the most is I was looking at Twitch viewership, and like, dang, the numbers are really down. They only at like 10, 11,000 for the championship. Then someone was like, "Yo, click on YouTube," and I went to YouTube and there's 20 grand in it.
Mm-hmm.
Then
And
I went to
NFL
Facebook and it was 10. And then I remembered it's on NFL Network at the same time. So it was crazy. And DSK, just to answer your question in the chat from earlier, I wasn't bad mathing you. None of us were, man. We were saying you was
Oh yeah.
you really know what you're talking about. But when people get on your nerves, you can completely go off on them.
Yeah.
I just be seeing you on Twitter, I be laughing.
Yo, DSK is your perfect get 'em guy. Be like, like he go
like, to be honest, when I had posted up all them shots, all them screenshots of the coaches tape and stuff like that, I should have added DSK to get into that conversation too. Because then I wouldn't have had to listen to 300 people yell at me. He would have shut it down.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, that's about it. Positional advantage. But as far as what Rex tweeted on Twitter too, I encourage y'all to go to Rex's Twitter and don't just read tweets. Click tweets and replies.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Click
Listen,
tweets
man, I've
and
been telling
replies
people
and
for a long
just
time.
scroll down, because he's dropped a lot of things on Twitter that I did not think was going to be dropped on Twitter.
Man,
That's
I've been
right.
telling them, man, don't nobody listen to me. I've been telling them, if you don't do anything else, listen to Rex. Especially, I'm not trying to toot no horn, especially the interview that I've had with him for the last couple of years, because he's gonna say something. Because I know how to ask him the question, like, hey, what do you think about what didn't make it in that you really want? Come on, man. Just listen to him. He drops that picture. That's all I'm gonna say. When I saw that picture, I was like,
I can't believe he
whoa.
did that. I can't believe he did that. That's how I felt.
Yo, I went off of Twitter that day. I was like, no, I don't know nothing about that. Nope. Yeah, listen to Rex. But
I can't
Zulu,
believe he did
man.
it, bro.
Oh, me neither, man.
I couldn't believe it.
Close us out, Zulu, man. Give us your thoughts, man. We'll let you have basically the last word of the night. This has been an amazing show, man.
Well, first, y'all got me cracking up over here. First, I swear, y'all making me want to go down to EA Play and build with y'all. I may have to do that next year because y'all are so cool. Y'all making me like, man, I may have to rearrange my schedule next year and just go ahead and do that. But to your question, well, first, I'm not big on trailers, especially teaser trailers. So, for example, like when Madden 17 dropped, I was at my in-laws and I was watching it on Twitch on the streams, and so I'm like a day behind. Everybody else got the game. I'm watching. I'm like, I don't know. It looks all right, but I put my hands on it when it first came out. I was like, oh no, this is different. This Madden ain't the same. So for me, the visual doesn't work for me. I need to have my hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, let me piggyback off of what some of y'all said. I do pay attention to Twitter, and so I don't remember if it was Rex or A-Dub, but over a year ago, one of them two said that, and they got into a Twitter argument about this. They said we couldn't get safety play in this year. And it was like they were parsing their words, right? But they were like, but it'll all come together in the future. So when you're talking about positional advantage, the first thing I think of is, well, wait a minute. How do you have positional advantage without safety play? So in my mind, it's like, okay, first of all, safety play is going to get retuned. But I was like, wait a minute now. They were having, and at the time, I'm an educator, so some of the stuff, it sticks in my brain just because, I'm an educator. They were having a conversation about cover 4. That's how this whole discussion about safety play even popped up. And I was, so when I think about cover 4, and shout out to DSK, a.k.a. Captain Kirk, I was trying to learn coverages and all that last year, anticipating pattern matching and all the stuff that happened in Madden 17. So when I hear a cover 4 and the so-called real cover 4, you can't have that without adjusting man coverage. So when you're talking about positional advantage, I think to myself, well, wait a minute. Didn't they kind of experiment? Didn't they provide us a little window into perhaps how man coverage will work when they added pattern matching in 17. You know, like pattern matching, that's the best man coverage in Madden 17, in my humble opinion. So when you're asking me about, you know, well, what is positional advantage? I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if shading, would it be the artificial one where you're pressing the buttons, or it's you know, the NFL logic where you got like a cover one, so you're trying to drive the receiver inside into the yellow zone, or if it's like, you know, like a two-man under when you're trying to drive them out so that the safety can help you over the top. What if that positional advantage, what if that matters now? What if you got to go through the route tree and learn how different routes respond or react to different defensive shading or different defensive coverages? If you're telling me that's even remotely a possibility, I mean, you know, folks gonna be scared when the game come out. Some of that jinky stuff we as a Madden community do, particularly the 3-yard pass that turns into an 8-yard pass, and people are scared to use man coverage. If positional advantage has anything to do with redirecting a receiver, I can't even imagine if it has anything to do with the defensive line. You know, Sim, Smitty, y'all know, AZ, and y'all know that, you know, I've been harping about the defensive line and pass rush and getting an organic pocket. I've been saying that since y'all been rapping with me. But putting that aside, if it has anything to do with redirecting a receiver to allow your defenders to if you got the right play call to give them the advantage, if it has anything to do with that, folks ain't ready for that. Folks got to go to that skills trainer for real, and now we'll be able to judge who the best players are. Because you can't say, well, I called cover one, but man coverage doesn't work in this game. Well, no, that ain't no excuse no more. Well, I called two-man press, and you know, that's overpowered. That's OP. We can't use language like that no more. We're talking about the future. If positional advantage has anything to do with improved safety play, anything. If you're telling me, oh, and the gravy on top is, oh, by the way, shading, even if it's just improved 50%, if shading from the DBs and linebackers, if that works, oh man, that's too much. So we're talking about a Christmas present in August. It's gonna be Christmas. Forget Christmas in July. It's gonna be Christmas in August. That's what I'm talking about.
I'll drop one other little nugget that they partially tweeted about.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna be.
I'm rubbing off on them, folks. I'm rubbing off on them.
I'm not gonna.
He's giving nuggets out.
Detailed about it. But targeted passing.
Oh, I'm staying away from that one. Go ahead.
Remember those words. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
I ain't saying nothing.
I'm not getting directly into that, but just remember those words because they tweeted it, so I can just repeat what they tweeted.
Okay.
But I'm just gonna say, like, both of those 2-word phrases are. I think they tweeted them for a reason. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that those are the two things that they tweeted for a reason. And that's it.
That's it.
Sim, good. Thanks for the Thanks. Because like I almost messed up there.
No.
With the whistle. Nah, I'm saying with the whistle, that's good look.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yo, this was listen. I think I want to set this up now. If y'all are available, of course, you know everybody's life changes and whatever. You never know what's going on. But if you guys, the two of you, are available, and any of you other guys, of course, y'all can chime in. But if y'all are available the week of EA Play, I would love to have this exact panel come back that following Thursday, only because obviously with Relly having a different side of things as far as game style or what have you, whatever, however people want to try to put you in that particular box, which you're not in, but having that side of it. And then also the insight that Zulu sees from afar, much like what 757 does. I want to definitely have y'all on that show if y'all can make it, where everything is out in the open and we can basically give our thoughts, especially us three, including you, Relly, because obviously things just like we do. That would be an amazing show.
I haven't seen what you've seen though. I just know what I've been told. Direct.
But you will.
No, that's what I'm saying. I just know what I've been told directly because, like I said, and like I speak to them very regularly. So, it's just I just don't want to betray nobody's trust. That's why I'm not up on here.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, but man, I just want to say again, I appreciate y'all having me on the show, man. And maybe you know what I'm saying, like at EA Play, maybe we can link up or something. I'll hit you up while I'm out there.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, barring something with the kids or something like that, I'll be there.
Absolutely, man. So again, guys. And Zulu, we want to get your last words in, man, before we sign out.
Oh, like I was saying, I'm all over that. You or me, I will be here. The third, I wrote it down. The week of EA Play, this panel, or excuse me, the week following on that Thursday, I'm in. I'm moving my schedule as we speak right now. So we're gonna wrap.
So it should be.
Matter of fact, I would have watched all y'all's videos. I know y'all do every year. So I'm gonna have already watched the videos. I'll be well informed. I've told y'all I'm like a little kid right now. So you got me. You got me for however long the show is that day. You got me.
So no doubt. I'm down.
That'll be on June 15th.
Yeah. June 15th.
Yep.
Should be. Is it the 15th or the 14th?
Yep. No, 15th. 15th Thursday.
Oh, that's right. 12th. I keep thinking. See, last year it's throwing me off, y'all. Last year it was Sunday through Tuesday. Now it's Saturday to Monday. So yeah, you're right. The 15th.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's payday. So but yeah, man. Listen, that's gonna be a good one. I can't wait for that. I can't even wait for just the talking that we're gonna have leading up to it. Maybe we'll get some more stuff from Rex. Who knows? But,
probably.
This was a great show, man. So we definitely want to thank Relly for coming on, Zulu for coming on, hanging out, Neff 205, Dez, and Walter. I don't know what happened, man. I sent the invites. Never responded. I mean, it's happened to others before. I know with NYK one time we were trying to get him on. He finally got it real late. So I don't know, man. Sometimes maybe it just gets lost in the email transition. But we'll try to get you on the next show. We got plenty to talk about. So that's going to do it, guys.
Hey, before you get off, did you see Clint? You see Clint get mad at Rex the other day?
Oh no, I missed it.
Nah, because he keeps sending out these cryptic tweets, and he was like, "Man, we might not be able to show y'all nothing."
Oh, yeah,
everything else.
That's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Listen, man, and along those lines, I was told because of stuff like that. And this is what I'm saying to y'all. I was told specifically by different contacts, yo. You can say this, you can't say nothing about that. Because let me explain that real quick. Y'all got to understand, Rex works there. Well, Rex is the creative designer. I'm sure he has liberty to drop little hints in there and there. I told y'all as well. Rex has done stuff in the past that marketing doesn't necessarily like. I'll give you one better than that. Rex told y'all in his own mouth sometimes he has to battle with marketing. Remember on the Four Verticals podcast? Yeah. So a lot of people have been coming at me this week and saying, yo, I'm seeing all this stuff on Amazon. Why you can't? I can't. I've only been given permission to confirm Frostbite and confirm that I've seen it on Frostbite. That's it. Y'all got to wait. Anything else that you're reading and speculating and even what you may have seen in the trailer, I can't confirm it. Just respect that, man. Y'all know I'm going to give you my real thoughts come June 10th. And, well, I guess the 15th when y'all will probably hear it. And maybe me and Smitty will do a quick video while we're there. But y'all know I'm going to tell you the good, bad, ugly. Whatever I like, hate, love, whatever. I got you. Don't worry. But just give me that time, man. Respect that. So that's it. That's all we got. Smitty, you got any last words?
No, just thanks to everybody for, hanging out with us and being on the air here. And this was a great show. like always, man. But it was extra special getting into this Madden a little bit. And I seen the tweet you talking about there as well, Relly. So I see what you know. He was subliminal. He was very subliminal with it, but it's clear.
No, he like Rex chill. He like
that's what I'm saying. Like, so no, not the Clint joint, not the Clint joint, the joint that he sent out about an hour ago about Madden 18, not the Clint joint. I did see that joint before, but I see what your nugget that you were talking about not too long ago.
Oh, he put something out recently?
I didn't even know he tweeted out an hour ago.
Oh yeah, you didn't see. Oh, okay. Yeah, check that out.
My boy Rex. That's my guy, yo.
No. All he did was reply, "This got addressed for Madden 18." That's all he replied.
The high points. I see it right now.
Yeah, about the dialogue.
Yeah, so. No, I was talking about the actual 2 words targeted passing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's
which I'm not saying anything else besides.
That's why I'm like, I ain't saying that now. I'm like, I mean, you just do the math.
I mean, y'all can go read. Y'all can go read some stuff on Amazon and stuff and other places, and you might find more details out about it. Possibly, maybe somewhere.
Only thing I know for sure is both of those words are in the dictionary. That's all I know. That's all I know.
Yeah, very true.
Targeting and passing. But all right, man. Yep. We out of here, man. Y'all watch. I hope it's entertaining, these playoffs. That's next week. We'll get into that. But have a good weekend. Appreciate the guys who came on the show. And like always, man, make sure you share if you like what you saw. Share this, the stream. Just help this thing grow and get even bigger and even better. Hit the like button and make sure y'all come back and make sure y'all participate going forward. Come on the show like the rest of these guys. We want to see some new faces or hear some new voices. So, all right, man, we catch y'all on the rebound. See y'all next week. Peace. Oh, wait. Hold on.
What up?
I may or may not be. There may not be a show next week, guys. I just thought about it. My nephew's graduating. I don't know if Smitty wants to do a show himself, and we always open to that, where you guys can come on and be a co-panelist. So I'm sure Smitty can, definitely do that. But I just want to at least give you that thought. I just was reminded. I think the graduation is next week, next Thursday. I got to go to that because they're doing a graduation party for him the weekend that we're going to be at EA Play, and I'm not going to be there. So I'm probably not going to be there next week. So I want to give y'all a quick update on that. But anyway, we'll be on Twitter, or Smitty will be on the show holding it down like he's done in the past. So either way, y'all will be able to get something. So all right, man, y'all be easy. Have a good weekend. Peace.
Deuces.